Where are we looking?
Where are we looking? We have two cameras, so
Where's the second one?
So we are. This is John Knudson. I'm Jason Tonioli, and this is my home studio. And for those out in Facebook and YouTube land, we have a studio here, and there's about 40, 45 people here who just had an awesome dinner. It was all good, right? Dinner was good. So we had Argentine empanadas and Milanesa and all kinds of other good stuff. So this is our third year doing this here in the studio, right, John?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So John and I have been known each other for almost, we going on 10, 10. How long have we played together now?
Oh, well, I've only been out here 11.
What's that?
I've only been out here 11.
Okay, so it's been like 9 or 10 years. So about 9 or 10 years ago, maybe tell how we originally met before we have you play something here for us.
So I actually started playing with Alex Sharp before I met Jason. Alex Sharp from Celtic Women, who actually I got introduced to because of my wife. This is my wife. Hi. This is Janie. So, and Alex is a great singer and does a wonderful job playing Celtic music. And she was coming back in town with a new group called, oh geez, I just drew a blank. Carnua. Thank you. And she said, I need my, Irish fiddle player here in Utah. And I said, I'm ready. And she said, well, give Jason a call and he'll give you all the information for the concert. I said, great. Who's Jason? And so Jason and I met, and it was kind of one of those meetings and get-togethers where it was kind of the perfect place at the perfect time, and everything just clicked. And it's been making great music ever since.
It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun. So we're going to be playing several songs.
Very impromptu.
Well, so we've been doing this a lot. So it's what's fun about it is John he can play like all of the Tchaikovsky, and you're a classically trained violinist. He can play whatever's written, but he actually is a person who listens and can make stuff up too. And that is very rare from a string player. And so to be able to do both. And so
I do a lot of improv.
we're going to do Away in a Manger real quick. And if you listen on this one is mashed up with the kind of, I call it a Christmas song with the hymn, Jesus was once of humble birth. And my favorite time, I really like playing this with John. My very favorite time I've done this was with the Salt Lake Symphony and there was like 100 of the Utah Voices Choir with it. That was awesome. So they got to play along. But John is almost as good as the 76-person symphony that I had the one time in my life. So here's Away in a Manger. tune?
Yeah.
Okay.
The factory warranty on the tuning just ran out. So.
Well, Matilda's not going to be happy about that. So this is his violin, Matilda, right? She hasn't changed names, right?
What's that?
There's no different name on
Nope.
Matilda, right?
No,
Okay.
it's Matilda.
It's been Matilda for a few years.
Yep.
Okay. So tell him a little bit about Matilda here, but then we're going to show her off here in a
Yeah,
second.
so this is Matilda, and no, she's not from Australia. So Matilda is from Vienna, Austria, and she was made in 1731. So she's an old fart. She's my girl.
And she spoke to you one day and told her your name,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
and so when I moved back here to Utah about 11 years ago, I went back to school again to become a luthier. But that's a guy who makes violins. And so one day I was working on her, and I thought, oh, she's gonna tell me some exotic, European name. And I was just like, yeah, Matilda, really? But it stuck. So.
Awesome. So this next one we're going to do is I Wonder As I Wander. And if you're familiar with that tune, I think it's an anonymous composer for this tune. So nobody knows who exactly wrote it. It's up for debate. But the legend is there was some little homeless little girl in the cold that was singing this tune. And
That's the Little Match Girl.
Well, Little Match Girl, whatever we want to. Anyway, but the guy who wrote it down, they say that he'd heard this little girl singing and kind of the melody. So this one, I feel like it needs like that. It's almost like a little bit of the Fiddler on the Roof beginning. So as John starts playing this to start, picture that little girl in freezing cold weather singing for people trying to get tips in December. So. And then there's a surprise in this too, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until we finish, and you can see if you can guess what we did with this mashup. So,
Do I start this by myself?
You're all by yourself.
Okay.
Show off Matilda here. So I think you had a different set of music than me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have two versions of that, and I was playing through it, and I think you had 2 less pages than I did, didn't you? Did anybody know? No.
We have done so many songs, and we've done so many versions of songs, because we'll have song version 1, and then version 1.2, and
3.0,
version
3.1.
and then version 9.A to X, Y, Z.
And what's really fun though is when we do record together, I've gone down to Chuck's studio a lot, and I'm usually fairly prepared with what I'm gonna.
You'd think.
So I try to be very prepared and give him music, but what I know happens is when you put 2 talented people or more talented people together, ideas come out, and so you want to change stuff, or you want to change keys sometimes, which makes it really fun if you're a piano guy. Or you put the poor violin player in 4 flats just to make him smile. But it's just fun to see when talented people play. The cool thing about being here in this type of environment is it's different every time, and
It's different every time we play it.
it is. It really is. But when we do record, what I love is that we'll get feedback from others, and it just makes it a little bit better and a little bit better. And sometimes we'll drop multiple pages and add whole things, and it's a fun process to be creative and kind of make music. So this one, I think we want to try your bass. So John has this new instrument that nobody else in the world has, and it's a viola, but it's not a viola, right? So we're calling. Tell him about.
Violin.
So before he tells you this, John is very humble. This guy's played in some really, really cool places, and with some really cool people like Billy Joel and other places. But he's also the guy. Has anybody in here got any kids? Well, some of the kids may do it. The Harry Potter video game. Okay,
Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy that came out last year. So if your kids play that and they turn it on, there's a little lick on there that John. It's like the very first thing that you hear when you play the video game. It's like the intro, and it's this guy. It's like him that did it. But now anyway. Tell him a little bit about that and play him the lick first of all, so they can hear this. So this is it was up for a Grammy nomination, and you're gonna. This instrument is awesome. So tell him what you did to this thing.
So
Has anybody heard a violin sound that way ever?
So these are what's called octave strings, and they're actually for a violin. And there's a niche market that's about that big. There's only 2 companies that make them. So you can have this kind of string or that kind of string, and that's it. So what they do is they drop the pitch 2 octaves. So this is actually the same G that's on a cello. But octave strings for a violin are meant for a violin. And this is a viola. And so they're short. And so I had to put cello fine tuners on it so that it would move the strings further down this way. So it's kind of a combination between a violin, viola, and cello. And then I've got a monster pickup on it. I call it a bass violin.
That doesn't exist if I Wikipedia that.
No.
There's no such thing, right?
No, yeah. I just got creative one day.
So do you need to tune this one too, or are you good?
Yeah.
What do you want?
A.
So you think we use it on this song? You think it'll be okay, or
Sure.
do you want to switch back? So he may switch instruments in between or along here, but this is the bass violin on a song I think you'll recognize here. he's got a third violin, because if anybody needs one violin, you need 2 and 3, just like a piano. So
There's musical violins tonight.
all right, we'll see if I can pull this one off. This is my T-Rex moment. Here we go. So right before we got here, John's always complaining that my piano's louder than him, and then he has to sit here right here with the piano like aimed right at his back of his head too, and so you can't hear yourself half the time either, right? Yeah. So anyway, so he brings an amp now to make himself sound a little bigger, and so it's kind of like the guys getting the big truck and jacking it up with the big tires and all that to make him. So okay, so this next one we're gonna do. This one was not written as a violin piece, and it's actually in my new book that I came out with this fall in September. The song is called Hear My Prayer, and the album that I did, it's called Healing Piano, and all of the songs that I include, so I haven't actually released that album yet. So we have the book out, so if you play piano, you can play it, but this album is really kind of, every song that I included in that book kind of had some meaning, some sort of healing, and it was kind of it's probably one of the ones I've had more difficulty figuring out than any book I've done ever. I haven't even told you this probably, so you didn't even know this. So I had like almost 35, 40 songs that I went through to narrow it down to just the songs in that book. So if you play piano, that's one that's, actually it's right over here, that I don't know, it was kind of an interesting experience going through and doing that, and so we've nearly finished the recordings. We were actually waiting for this piano to finish it, Lisa. Lisa bought my other piano that I had that I still miss, and dearly. Another story for another day. But anyway, so on this one, this song in particular, when it probably was, I think it stuck in my head for almost 5 weeks. And the melody. So I don't know whether maybe this will be the one you sing when you go home tonight and you lay down. But I kind of pictured this person if you've seen the Les Mis, the play Les Mis, and you have Jean Valjean when he's saying "God on high," and so it's kind of got a little bit of that vibe. And when I was Anyway, so that was kind of the idea that was going through my head. It's a little bit different. It's different than that, but I kind of had all these words going through my head, which I usually don't have words that are going through my mind when I'm writing a song out, and this one did. And so then we released it, and crazy story is, so about a month ago, this gal reaches out to me, and she sends me this YouTube video, and when I did the book, I did not include lyrics, and it's not a professional recording. She's sitting at her upright piano, and there's no mics to make her auto-tune to sound good, but she's singing the words almost verbatim of what I'd had going through my head for like 5 weeks. It's like I got to look at it a little bit closer. I talked to her actually yesterday, and she's like, yeah, I just had these words, and they just all came out, and I wrote them down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I actually have some of the words written out, and I was going like, look, I really did write this. So anyway, kind of cool what Spirit does, but we've never actually done this with violin, and you've played through it one time to hear the song. You don't even remember what it sounds like as we were doing it. So you guys are going to be the first ones to hear it. So it's not been released. You can't go listen to it on Spotify, but I think this is one that's going to be really fun to go into the studio with a violin and have this evolve. So you're literally the first ones to hear that happen tonight. So
Am I starting or are you starting?
oh, I got it. So you just play along. So John's literally, he has no music. He has what I'm playing on the piano, and he's going to make something up.
There's not a piano part.
So
I mean, a violin.
you can take melody on some of the parts, and we'll just
Okay.
kind of. So we're going to kind of dance. You're going to notice that we kind of have this give and take dance partner thing. Hopefully that'll work out. We'll see. If not, I'll just play my piano really loud. like that one. All right. This next tune
I remember
is...
that one.
What's that?
Gotta remember that one.
Yeah, we got to do that one more. Got to record that. So this next tune is called "In the Bleak Midwinter," and it is actually from my Easier Piano Solo book. And so I've actually did my 20th book just this month. Had my 20th book delivered and shipping out, which is crazy to think I've done that many of them. But so with all of the books I've done, eight of those have been actually 9 of those now have been hymn arrangement books of like old hymns, and that's been really fun to do. And then I've got 2 Christmas books that are just regular, and 2 of the hymn ones are actually easier. I call them easier piano, but what I did differently on that is, rather than, for anybody who's done piano, you start with like the big ugly notes, and you talk, like, they'll be like, "What does Mr. Turkey say?" It was my first song I ever learned. Here it is. "What does Mr. Turkey say? Gobble, gobble all the day." That was it. That was my first song. But so like easier music, I don't get excited about writing songs about Mr. Turkey. But I actually, Ryan, I don't know, where's Ryan in here? Or Ryan's probably playing video games, right? Ethan, you couldn't get him in here? So Ryan's my son, and he was about 10 years old, and he was playing at the piano and playing these out of like one of the big note hymn books, and was playing just bad notes all over the place. And I'm doing the dishes, and I was giving him a hard time, and I actually made him cry. Tell him, "No, it's wrong. It's wrong." So I went over there, and he's like, "No, Dad, it's right. I promise. It's what's written." And I went over, and it was actually, he was playing it right, but the book was bad. Like, because so I'd had piano teachers for years tell me, "Will you please write easier versions of your songs so that like less good piano players can play them?" And so that was the moment where I'm like, fine, I'm going to do this. And I started writing them, and but I wanted to make it so it sounded hard and sounded full, but anybody that could at least kind of plunk out a hymn could handle playing this and actually sound good still. And so that's kind of, I would say, one of the things that when my music career took off is when I released those books, and they sound harder than they actually are to play. But I also get normal piano people now that tell me, "Oh, I don't want to play your easier songbook because it's not hard enough." And so this is actually from the easier book. And so I want you to just listen. And what's crazy with some of these easier songs, when I go back and play them, they sound just as hard as all the other stuff I'm doing, but we've just made it so it's playable. And this is also not a violin song, and John's going to make something up as we go. So here we go. So there's not sheet music for John's violin, but maybe we'll have to write something out if it's good. So don't mess it up. So here we go. In the Bleak Midwinter.
It doesn't hurt also that we're doing this for church choir
You're doing that one? Which
Yeah.
one?
in the Bleak Midwinter.
Oh, really? Not that version.
No, not that version.
Okay. So this next tune that we've got for you is another mashup. Is it more fun if I don't tell you what it is and you got to guess the tune as you're hearing it? So, okay, well, we won't tell you what this is. You just got to listen. But there's two songs that are very much there, and maybe we'll ask you at the end who got it. So, you using that one, Matilda, again?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I can't remember what we did before, so.
Me neither. So, this is also just a piano solo. He's going to make something up. Here we go. This is my mom's favorite. So my mom made us play this earlier for her. So funny story with this one too. So this is "O Holy Night," and I have a crazy, very hard version of this that it's not crazy hard, but I can't play it very well if I don't practice it. But for the violin to play with me on this one, we're playing out of the easier songbook again. So as you're listening to this is actually something that if you're not a good piano player, this is easy enough to play for the most part. So this is "O Holy Night." So, you know what? I'll take a little. So one of the things I did Tuesday was Marcos here yet? No, no está aquí todavía. Ah, ¿dónde está? Trabajando todavía. So my friend's not here yet, so we're gonna have to. So last Tuesday on my other concert we just threw out some ideas for Christmas songs. So I think it went pretty well then, but I've never done it with. I don't think we've ever done like a name, like just come up with a couple songs and see if we can follow each other, right? So we were messing around on Silver Bells earlier when he first came down yesterday to practice a little bit. So I need like 4 to 6 songs. So like give me a couple names of like Christmas songs and we'll try to make up something on the fly, mash up, and see what happens. So what child is this? Minor, okay.
Angels we have heard on high.
Okay.
Carol of the Bells.
Okay. What else?
I can do White Christmas. Little Drummer Boy.
Oh, drummer boy. I need like a board to write all this down.
You started this.
Who put a nickel on it? All right, so okay, so there's some. You got that in your head, kind of. So we're gonna. Okay, we've never done this, have we?
No.
So,
Thank you.
So silver. We're gonna start Silver Bells. We're gonna start with like a Safe Home Base. Let's see. Okay, we'll just go see.
Okay.
You do see. All right. 2.
2 or 3,
Yeah.
9 or 10.
Okay. Should we do that again sometime? That was-
Didn't you do I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas?
Ooh, that one's got some harmony jazz stuff going on.
You opened the box.
I don't know that I can. If I had like the words in front of me.
Oh, I've accidentally got
All right.
Didn't you do Drummer Boy?
I don't know. Can you do Drummer Boy?
Okay, how's it go?
Ooh. Sounded flat. They told me to rum bum bum. That one. Yeah.
Am I in the right key?
I don't think so. I think my drum line
Think
is
your drum line
flat.
flat.
It's like, what happened? I just got this in the Bahamas. All right, well, let's get back. I heard angels we have heard on high from somebody over here, right? Okay, all right, let's do a little bit of that. So I've got this is actually in my Christmas gift book. So this is actually have written stuff, so that will help. Here we go. And you can do what you do. I think you have music for it. think we'll do maybe 2 more numbers. This next one is, you probably don't think of it as a Christmas song, but I think it's got one of the best messages and probably should be a Christmas song. It's called Fairest Lord Jesus. It's an old song. I think it comes from kind of the British Isles type of area. But it's just one of those really beautiful songs. My favorite arrangement that we've done of that was with my friends from Ireland, Alex and Lynn and Edel. They were Celtic Women River Dance. They actually were the lead singers in both of those groups, and then they sang together too. But this one is just beautiful with the violin as well. So this is also not exactly. This is just a piano solo, and so you're getting to watch awesomeness happen right before your eyes. So we'll do 2 more songs. We got this one, and then I got one more for you. So we'll finish up with. So for this last one, this is Silent Night, and I think this is one of my all-time favorite arrangements I've ever done. Got to sing it with lots of people, but so I'm going to ask you guys to sing it with me. So there's all the verses, and so you might need your phone out to get the verses if you don't regularly memorize verses to songs. But this one it's going to be fun. John's going to do some stuff on the violin, and you guys just kind of sing. Don't do like the normal church where you like pretend like you're moving your lips and don't make any noise, or it'll be really awkward. But please sing, and if your neighbor's not singing, poke them in the ribs and tell them to sing a little bit too. Unless they're really really bad, and then you can poke them a little harder and tell them to not. But thank you so much for just being here and letting me share with you. It's not very often that I do this. It's only a half dozen or so times a year that we bring people in here to kind of experience this in the studio. We are starting to, if you know somebody who should record some songs, we've started bringing people in to record, and we've mentored some people. And so if you have, actually, you've been over here, you've recorded, so. So we've got a few people we brought in, but we'd love to bring in more in the new year, especially where we have this brand new piano. It is awesome. So Lisa, the reason I'm pointing at Lisa bought my other piano, and I love that piano, and it's amazing. And anyway, to ask Lisa to give you the story on that one, but it's found a really good home, and she's going to have a concert or two, I think, at her house, because I miss my friend. Again, thank you so much. If you do want books, we've got books out here and CDs. There's a whole bunch of other books that we just don't have room to sit out there. So if there's a specific book you want, we have 20 of them. So just come talk to me. There's 30, 40, 50. Right. So there's a whole bunch. And again, just thank you for letting me share with you, and tell some friends. We've kind of kept this as kind of a secret place. We want to. This is so much better than going to the Delta Center and like sitting on the nosebleeds, and you can barely see the ants down there, and then it's so loud that it hurts your ears anyway. So only sometimes you have your ears hurt when John turns his rock violin on, right? But again, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas. And when we finish, we'll plan on getting a big picture with everybody here. So I've got every big concert I've done, I've taken a big picture. So we'll finish up and then get a picture and call it a night. So here we go, Silent Night, and I expect to hear everybody singing extra good. And you'll know when to come in. We'll help. Watch this.